Episode number 160 with Steve and Mike.
I got X-ray specs for eyes, I can see right through you.
Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
This is the other guy.
Mike Snyderman, how the hell are you?
Not bad, Steve. Tired
Uh-huh.
after another all-night grind.
I thought you might have pulled an all-nighter when I saw this morning. I woke up and I got a text from you at about 3 a.m. How did it go last night?
It was bad. I lost. Yeah, got my ass kicked for a week here. Doesn't take much, Steve. A week ago, if you talked to me, I'm like, poker's the greatest thing ever. And now, once again, I'm like, I need to get out.
We need to get Carlos back in here.
I'm not properly rolled for the stakes I'm playing for sure.
Are you at 5-5 or what are you?
Yeah,
what were you
yeah, it's 5-5. I don't about $1,500 buy-in is way over what I have. But interestingly enough, they're making some changes at the casino here in terms of the games they're going to offer. It looks like.
Oh, what are they doing?
They said they're going to get rid of the 5-5 and instead have a 2-5 and a 5-10.
Okay.
Which would probably be the 2-5 with a $600 buy-in, and the 5-10 $600 max, and the 5-10 with like a $1,500 or a $2,000 kind of buy-in. So I think that'll be perfect for me if they do make that change. A lot of the regulars have complained, so it hasn't been official yet. But 80% of the time play the 2-5, and then probably Fridays, and depending how my roll's going and that sort of thing, play the 5-10.
Okay.
What we'll see is the thing is the 2-3 has a 400 cap. So like we were talking, they really need to get rid of the 2-3, have 1-2, 2-5, and 5-10 like most casinos, because obviously I want to play against the 2-3 players, but with a little more money, on the table.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. And the thing is, I lose 2 or 3 buy-ins in that game, and right now it's not crushing. But I'm down like 6,000 my last 4 sessions, which is only 4 buy-ins, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But crossing my fingers on that one.
Yeah, Bitcoin isn't really rebounding like I thought it, as quickly as I thought it would. We'll see how it goes. I met a guy over the weekend. I think we're going to have him on the podcast. He had a completely different view, I guess, or outlook of Bitcoin.
Okay.
He was saying that he believes it's extremely overvalued. And I was all, really? Even after the crash? And he's oh yeah, it's way overvalued. And I said, well, what's your logic behind that? And he put up a good point. He said, a lot of people are just buying this just to buy it because they think it's going to go up. And he's all, but when you look at Bitcoin, there's very few people that are actually using it. He said the same with all the other digital currencies. And so his reasoning was, if only 2 or 3% of people that actually own this stuff are transferring it and using it, like you and I are, pulling money on and off these sites, we're using it. He thinks it's way overvalued. He's like, over 95% of the people that own the stuff have never actually used it other than just buying it. And now it's sitting on Coinbase. And I'm like, he might have a point. So he hasn't really approached it from the buying and selling part of it. He's into the mining. And so he's been mining these little, one in particular is called Vivo. He's mining it on a computer that he bought from Radio Shack. And it's spitting out these little coins, and then he's using those to transfer over to Ethereum, and that's how he's basically getting paid. So
okay.
It was kind of interesting. I think he'd make a good guess. We'll see if he comes on, but it was a completely different perspective. That
you were kind of saying Well, it depends on how you look at it, I think. You were kind of saying the same thing, like, Bitcoin Cash, I think you used, was so much faster
Yes.
than the Bitcoin. So as a technology compared to already, Bitcoin is already archaic. It's already way behind. But so it's not. But the thing is, people are saying it's going to be like, it's like gold, though. It's not a matter of you paying bills with it. It's just it's the standard. That's why they say
Yeah.
the gold standard. You know what I mean? This is so. But I don't know. Like, I have another friend who's going. He thinks it's all stupid. I mean, some people, like I said, people are very polarized here in their view on it. And I tried to give that explanation. Well, it's going to be like gold. It's going to be around. He's like, well, sure it is, but why do you think it's going to be around at 20,000? Why can't it just be at 2,500 and maintain its value there? What's that number where it has enduring power? But so yeah. But on the same token, Steve, it's Bitcoin is still probably 200% more than it was 6 months ago when I first bought some at like 3,800 or whatever it was.
True. Yeah.
And right now, I think, I want to see it go up, but if it bounced around between like 8 and 12,000 or for 6 months or a few months till this summer. Summer is where hope springs eternal.
Yes.
Maybe that is where it explodes. But
we'll see. I'm fully into it. I've got all these altcoins and everything. I'd love to see Tron just like triple. That would be awesome. I've got a bunch of Tron. Ripple, Monero, Zcash. All of these I've just sprinkled throughout, just hoping for that next Bitcoin or Litecoin.
Yeah, I made a couple of deposits with Bitcoin over the last to poker sites the last few weeks, and I have under 1 Bitcoin now, so I don't have a lot. I've got a fair amount of the altcoins.
Okay.
So I'm pulling for all this, but yeah, I lost. I got my ass kicked online too. Online, I keep saying I'm done with tournaments. I just said that a week ago, and I made one more last deposit just to play this weekend online. And that ACR, man, since winning that $500,000 tournament, I'm like down like 40,000 on that site. I think the last 2 years.
Yeah, I'm just starting to climb out. I won one on ACR, and then I got a third place last night on not last night, night before, I think, on ACR. Reviewing the tournaments, there was a couple spots. I've got a few hands that I'm a little not sure if I played them right or not, but yeah, I was on such a horrendous downswing for a while, and I think I'm finally starting to climb out of it. So that was nice. I think it has a lot to do with getting settled and
right.
Not having other stuff going on in my personal life. I can actually focus when I'm sitting there playing.
A lot of people say the site's crooked, but yet I'm still putting money on there. So it shows you the state of online poker, that this is like the choices we have. If you want, again, I don't do anything in a rational way here. I like big guarantees. I like the idea I can win a tournament and win 10,000 plus.
Yeah.
So ACR's got a bunch of those.
Yeah, they do.
Ignition obviously a lot less, but Ignition, at least I beat Ignition, so I should probably be playing that. But
yeah, I'm sprinkling in like one Ignition tournament and then having 3 others, either ACR or 6-4 spades.
Right.
And just simply, the synchronized breaks after like 6 hours, it just gets to me that you don't get you got to take the laptop into the bathroom with you. I don't like that. I'd rather just knowing I have a break each time. But the players are so bad on Ignition that how can you avoid playing on that site?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Life could be worse. Gavin Smith could show up any day at my door and punch me in the nose.
Which is somewhat likely.
It's coming.
Yes, it's only a matter of time. He'll make the trek from Houston.
So what else is?
I went out. My buddy and I went down to LA yesterday to get our visa for China. This country is really they're quite sticklers on who they let in. You know, they got 20% of the world's population, but they're pretty strict with outsiders coming to visit their country. You got to go and get a Chinese visa. Everything they made us do pretty much goes against what we're about when we go traveling. You know, we've gotten to the point now where we don't even get a hotel when we show up in some major city because we don't know where we want to stay, and we usually want to talk to a few people, find out where the good areas are, and then go from there. But you can't do that. You have to show that you're flying into the country and that you're flying out just to get this visa so you can even go in. So you have to have a plane ticket in and then a plane ticket out. You can't just go in and then tell them you're going to leave whenever you feel like it. They don't like that. So we had to buy our tickets in advance, which we never do. And then on top of that, you got to prove that that you have a place to stay and you're not just going to be homeless while you're out there. So we had to book hotel stays for our whole time while we're in China, which we never do because we never know where we're going to be, you know. So my buddy had to put a few grand worth of hotels on there that we're pretty sure we can get refunded for. But we turned all that in. They had to take our passport. So they have our passport down in LA. We can't go and pick that up for several weeks. But yeah, this Great Wall better be pretty badass because this is a lot of trouble. Normally we just show up and then we're in, you know?
Right.
This is pretty involved.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to a guy next to me who was going through the same. He teaches English out in China, and he's like, yeah, I had to get like a full background investigation done and go to the police department, show that I have no record, and submit that to the embassy. So
don't you need a note from Don't you need a note from your mother before you can hire a hooker there too? That one doesn't make sense to me. I don't see how those two things are related.
So what's your plans for today? You gonna grind again today down at the casino?
Yeah, probably tonight. Go back to bed for an hour or two. Got a couple little stupid administrative things to take care of. Got to clean my apartment. I think Carlos is returning here.
Oh, is he?
I'm like the woman whose man has gone off to war here, waiting for him to return. Sitting there staring at. Pulling my chair up to the window, opening the blinds, and just staring out into nothingness, waiting for my man to return.
Yes, hoping the taxi cab pulls up with him and not a letter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Is his niece going to be there, or is she flown back? Or
she went back east.
Okay, cool. That'll be fun. Maybe the. Run good, he'll pick back up again once he gets in there.
Yeah, I told Carlos. I mean, I had a sick week while he was here. I think I was up $10K or something in cash. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll roll up the sleeves. Back to work. What's new with you? Have you seen the old girlfriend?
No.
Well, she doesn't really live that close, right?
No, she's in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was like a couple hours away. I didn't realize it was that far.
No, it's quite a ways. She's going to be back out again during the summer, and so we'll probably meet up and do something fun then. But other than that, she's got so much going on right now, going through the divorce and everything. I think I probably won't see her until the summer. But it's been kind of nice not having a girlfriend. I can really do whatever the hell I want. Like, I literally wake up in the morning and I'm like, Steve, what do you want to do today? Most of the time it involves something to do with the podcast or poker, and or I have to go to work, but that's about it. It's been pretty nice. I've been playing. My goal was 10 hours a week to play online, and I've been exceeding that. I've been upwards of 15, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been cool.
That's getting to make your own schedule, do whatever the hell you want. Usually I'm just laying in the middle of the floor with a brown paper bag over my head, breathing deeply, trying to avoid the panic and the hysteria of my solitude. I don't think you'll be doing that though, Steve, with your free time.
I don't think so. No, it hasn't happened yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm optimistic about today. I think it could bring a good one. And the last few sessions have been profitable, which has been nice. That's been cool.
I just have to stop playing on there. I mean, the other thing, again, Bitcoin related, is like I don't want to buy any more Bitcoin, but I thought, I think this was my original plan. There was just to play just Sundays online and live, and like make a living off the live poker, and just do my Sundays is my Bitcoin investment.
Oh, yeah.
Over the course of the year, hopefully make anywhere 5, 10, 20, 30,000. Like I said, my Sunday hourly in my mind should be like $75 an hour. So voila, there you go, 3,000 a month. But might be asking a little too much.
Well, the tournaments are so volatile. It just takes that one score, and then you're up to $75 an hour instead of 12.
Yeah, instead of minus. Yeah, speaking of, I told you there was 3 changes they made at the beginning of the year in my casino, none of which are really good for us, good for me, which is in 5-5 they started having a dollar drop pre-flop. Normally you raised and no one called, you just take the money, there's no drop. Now they changed that to $1. Charge for the food, rather than just getting all the food comped, you now get like one $8 voucher after you've been there for 2 hours.
Okay. And
they had the little jackpots they do every day, which used to be, well, I won't get into the details, but they changed that too, where everybody in the casino has an equal chance of winning them. And it used to be related to how many hours the week before you played the week before. So there's this big plastic drum, and they pull these tickets out to see who won. So if I played 50 hours the week before, I had 50 tickets, and someone else might have only 1 ticket. And now, so there were 3 changes that were bad. There were 1 change that was pretty good, where the rakeback, they made it a little better, where if you play 100 hours, you get $500 back.
Okay.
$5 an hour.
Yeah.
And supposedly they're changing that to where if you play 20 hours, you get $60 back, and you can keep repeating that number. So $3 an hour. So the one thing they made, the one positive change they made, is apparently, changing back, or changing for the worse. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was related to my no longer grind online Sundays but play live, is to get that $200 a month, to get that $1,000, $500 for each 100 hours. But they've taken away that incentive a little bit, $400 less.
Yeah. I don't like the jackpot, making it equal for everyone. I think they should reward the people that are there the most.
Yeah, I mean, this place is, all the decisions they make are, obviously to make the most money. And I guess if you have one of those 1-2 players who comes in and buy, or, the whatever the lowest game is, where you buy in for $60, and you get the person who plays just once a month, and they come in and they make $250, 500, whatever it is, that's a good day for them. You know what I mean? That'll bring them back more.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe. They're obviously doing it to help themselves for the casino.
But yeah, any scenario of me surviving in poker involves me playing long hours, and yeah, we'll see. But it is. Man, I really want to go to Vegas. We already went into that where I can't go, but we'll see. I mean, I guess I'll have to come out for a week somehow. To say no to Vegas altogether seems kind of crazy. I'll probably have to. I'll see when they announce whatever week the TPE's doing their thing. Hopefully, it's during the Monster Stack or the Millionaire Maker.
Yeah. We can get you back too. If you want it, or if you want all your action.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting money to play is not that hard. But like I said, again, we kind of broke down the math. Even if I had the backing and all that kind of stuff, it's just not as profitable, probably, as just staying put.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of you. I listened to that. I listened to our episode yesterday again, and I kind of caught it when we were recording, but I caught it more when I was relaxing, listening to the show. I'm proud of you, man. You're starting to make the move towards real pro. really breaking it down like you're doing, figuring out your hourly, and you're like, I could make more money just staying home and grinding. But
no longer
certainly
smoking.
not as fun, but
Right.
it's
no longer smoking crack while masturbating at the table. I mean, I'm really learning the tricks of the trade here.
Yeah, you're really stepping it up, move in the right direction.
That's the plan, man.
Well, I've got a couple of hands here.
Just a couple, Steve?
Just a couple.
I refuse to put this microphone down until we've done 15 hands.
Right.
I want my mind just numb, my hands raw from squeezing the micro. No, go ahead, Stephen.
Alrighty.
I have to start. I should start recording a couple cash hands here. I'll try to stay vigilant for that.
Right on. Yeah, you know what I do at the table, like when I'm playing live, I just do a voice note on my phone, and it it only takes 30 seconds or whatever, maybe a minute if it's a longer hand, and then you've got it,
Yeah. If I'm doing, the only little thing I've taken is the end of sessions. The last few times I got the pen and paper in my car, and I mentally write down which ones. Like I said, I'm going to bug Joe or get some coaching, and I just want to start knowing pre-flop ranges a little better. So there's spots these are just crucial now overall long term. Do ace 9 off here, in the big blind when middle position opens after a button flat. Raise, call, fold. What is my those sort of spots are. I open pocket fours, 1100 effective, 1900 effective, 20. The different stack sizes. Somebody 3-bets me. Am I calling or am I ever 4-bet bluffing? Blah blah blah. So yeah, but in terms of like fascinating hand, in terms of like an overall hand, I'm always, of course, I'm only really remembering it if there's like a major decision to make. But that's not what the overall poker thing is. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just playing the proper range of hands. But the voice memo thing is, yeah, that's a good idea.
It's so easy
to use that. Yeah.
And then for me, I find it more so like clears my mind so that I can go, okay, that hand is logged. Forget about it. Just focus on the tournament right now, or focus on playing right now. We'll dissect that later when we can. When we're away from the table and we have mental energy to do it. But it kind of, when you're not sure if you played a hand right, it's kind of going on in your head. And I feel like when I get it down on the voice memo, then I can refocus on the table. But until I do that, I'm second guessing myself. Should I have called there? Was that a fold? Stuff like that. But when you just record it, then it's done. And you can clear your head, move on, and then keep playing. That's how it works for me. But we got the video series from Zach Elwood, Live Poker Tales. It was really popular. We got a lot of responses, and so we're going to do another one. So if you were not Mason and you didn't win one, then and you'd like a shot to win another one, we're going to tell you how to do that at the end of the show. So stay tuned, and let's go on to our strategy section. You want to play online poker against a field of players that are terrible? I have a site for you, my friend. 64spades.com. It's like playing poker at a home game with a bunch of your buddies who are all drinking. I cannot think of a better game or a better deal. You can get rakeback. A portion of the money you gamble will get deposited back into your account. So you win on the tables and then you win on the rakeback. Sign up using the code in all caps, HUPOKER. Get your rake back and come play with the fish. 64spades.com. Okay, this one was on ACR. Blind levels are 5,100, so it's still pretty early in the tournament. And we've got 7-handed UTG +1 min raises, so he makes it 200. He's got 174 big blinds out of 11 hands. He's a 45, 36, 25% 3-bet. So in 11 hands, he's been very active, but he min raises. It folds around to us, and we're in the hijack. And we have ace king off suit, and we've got 42 big blinds. What are you thinking here? Total
What's the buy?
pot's
What's the buy-in here? Did you say that? I'm just.
the buy-in is 33. It's a
You must have
turbo
lost.
mega stack.
You must have. Yeah, that guy's got a lot of chips here. Was this a 5K chips to start or 10K chips? That's interesting.
This was 5K to start. So he's tripled up.
Yeah, I say he's obviously very wide, or not very wide, but five. He's played 5 of 11 hands, so I see no reason not to 3-bet.
Okay. Sizing blinds are 5100. He made it 200. What sizing are you going?
Yeah, I couldn't justify. I'm all going over 3x now with 3-bets in position, and over like 3.5 out of position, especially to like a limp. Again, I can't really justify what I'm doing here, Steve. But I would probably make it like 766 or something.
Okay. I went a little bit more than 3x. I went 622. I'm doing the same thing. Like from the small blind, if it falls to me in the small blind, I'm making it, if we're at 5100, I'm making it like 355, 370, something like that. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I think I might be a little polarized because when I 3-bet and I've got the goods like aces or kings, I'm probably making it 588 here instead of over 3x. So I'm going to adjust that today and make them both the same. But
again, this would probably be I don't know. You're supposed to have one size and like stick to it. It is funny, Steve, how we're talking like Carlos. Now we did a hand history review with him, and he's on team min raise, as you say, just min raise from beginning to end from wherever you are.
Okay.
And, I like just watching like a previous Assassinato likes the big bet sizing, especially like later position, like 3.5x.
Yeah.
So like I was totally arbitrary, like grinding. I'm like, okay, Team Carlos min raise. No. Team Assassinato, 3.5x.
3.5x.
just arbitrarily going through with like the bet sizing. But my own thing, for whatever reason, is just to punish, just to increase the 3-bet sizing. But that's a lot. My 3-bet frequency is much higher once you get like the second half of the tournament, where there's the average stack is when you're 3-betting off 30 to 40 bigs effective kind of thing. So now, now you only have 42 bigs, but he's deep. But anyway, just the fact that he's a 45, my thought is that he's going to be calling here quite frequently, so let's get more chips in there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We make it 622. Total pot is about 1K. It folds around to the original opener, who shoves 42 bigs effective.
Call?
We can never fold here, right?
No. Yeah, it's a rebuy. Okay. It's a rebuy.
Yeah.
Okay. Not really. I mean, yeah, I don't know what number to fold ace king. Yeah, there's a lot of times I call with ace king after 3-betting. Like I wish I thought about that a little bit. Where if it's, especially if you're deep, if you're 60 plus bigs, maybe. I don't know what the magic number is where. Like under 50 bigs, I'm never folding kings in any scenario. I don't know, like what the stack size is with ace king.
That's why I brought this up, because I feel like 35 is my number for ace king, and I might have overstepped it with this one, but still, I can't see myself folding.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's not us coming up with a number there is kind of silly and arbitrary. For that, I mean, the question is, are you heading ahead of his range? And you block aces and kings, and I mean, you never know. In early tournament, a lot of chips he might be doing with this. He's got almost 4x your stack. I mean, I wouldn't be like stunned if he shows up here with fucking ace jack or pocket sixes or something. You know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
So I think it's an easy call, and if he's got aces, so be it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I call. Turns out he has kings, so I wasn't sure if I was like getting a little too aggressive with ace king, but when he shoves there, I just can't see myself folding.
Yeah. In cash, I folded ace king to a 4-bet the other day from one of the old dudes, and he showed kings.
Okay.
And again, like it was a function of stack size. My 4-bet was to like 200 something, and he made it. I can't remember the size. No, my 4-bet was like to 100 something, and he made it like 370 or I can't, something really big, and we were only 1,000 effective. So I thought it was a pretty easy fold there. But I don't know, Steve. In this particular spot, I'm calling and shrugging and rebuying or moving on to the next tournament.
Okay. All right. That's exactly what I did. Right on. Got one more. This one's from Ignition. This one is, well, we'll just run through it and see what you think. Okay. So we're in the big blind. Blind levels are 30, 60. We have 180 big blinds. The other two villains have 160, 150 big blinds. So we're early, we're deep, we're ready to win. This is a 109. So 109 buy-in, 10K guaranteed, 10K in chips, 10-minute levels. All right, so folds to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 8-handed. Folds to UTG2, and he opens to 3x. He opens to 150. Then it folds to the button, who calls 150. Small blind folds. It's on us. We have pocket aces in the big blind.
I'm sorry, one raiser, one caller, or was it one raiser, two callers?
One raiser, one caller. So UTG2 makes it 150 for 3x. Button calls. And we're in the big blind with 150 bigs effective with pocket aces.
I'm doing about 5x here. Probably. Okay. 777 or something. I think that would be the industry standard.
Okay. All right.
Maybe in an early tournament you might maybe make it a little more. Well, I'm sorry. It was the blind. Sorry, how much was the raise till?
Let's see. Blind levels are 30, 60.
Okay,
he raises
150.
To 150. Oh, not quite 3x, like 2.8. 2.5.
What's the buy-in?
109.
You mean you did $109 buy-in, Steve?
I did $109 buy-in, Mikey.
Wow, you're just fucking going nuts with that bankroll, Steve.
I'm starting to win. I'm getting cocky.
You fucking plain owning, 3-house owning, $200,000 a year monkey with your fucking. Sorry, I'm going off. Yeah.
Go big time, Mikey.
Yeah, and the average starting stack of this tournament is 5,000 or 10. If it's 10,000, I'm thinking you can go a little higher, and people are, I don't know, 700, somewhere between 4 and 5x, I guess would be.
Okay.
Where I would go here.
I went about 4x, slightly lower than that. I made it 576. So almost 4x. And this is where I think I'm kind of polarized. Is I'm imagining myself in this spot with something like king queen offsuit. Maybe I don't know if I'd 3-bet king queen offsuit here in this spot, but if I'm gonna 3-bet, I would make it bigger.
Yeah,
and you're because I have aces, I'm making it less than 600, but I think if I had king queen offsuit and I decided to 3-bet, I'm making it like 700, like you said.
I think you're getting called by both players very, very frequently.
Yeah, I think you're right. Whereas if I make it 7, it's a lot more likely I'll get heads up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know if we even discuss the possibility of flatting here too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. I don't know. You got to. We need to consider the other options there, but just early stages of a tournament, very deep. If you're raising a call to, like, your stack is already in play, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm 3-betting for sure, but I don't know. I'm sure there's someone out there that would early stages of the main event, maybe.
Yeah.
I might even just flat there.
Okay. All right. Well, I make it 576, the original opener. Now, this is where some timing tells came in. He was he tanked quite a bit, and then he finally called. When he was tanking like that, I kind of put him on. He was either nutted and he was debating 4-betting, or he had something like pocket fives and he's hoping the guy on the button just calls along as well,
Or he's a guy who drinks 17 glasses of water a day and is running to the bathroom before acting. But
true, that's also a possibility. But when it came back to him, he used his time bank, and the 25 seconds or whatever expired, and then it went into his 90-second time bank, and after a few seconds, then he calls.
Okay.
And interestingly, the button did the same thing. So once UTG2, times, the button did the same thing. He timed quite a bit, went into a few seconds of his time bank, and I thought at this point, okay, he's either folding or he's 3-betting, and he calls. So we go to a flop. Both players tanking like that for what that's worth. The pot is 1,700, and we've got about 9K effective. So the stack to pot ratio is 4.5 or 5 to 1. And we get a flop. So again, with ace of spades, ace of hearts in the big blind, we get a flop of 9 of clubs, 5 of clubs, 2 of spades.
Okay.
Action is on us with 1,700 in the pot, 9K effective. What are you thinking here?
Probably C-bet.
Okay.
Smaller. Yeah, I mean, if you want to just play it cautiously, you check just to keep your whole stack from being in play. But I guess at this point with that stack pot, that's not really true. If somebody flopped a set and you checked, they make it 750. They make it 2,200 on the turn, and they rip the river. So your stack is definitely in play here. But you got aces. That's a big hand. And like you said, timing tell, you think they, especially the first player, has a big pair in their range quite a bit. So this is a flop. It could be very good for your hand.
Yeah. I'm not worried about any 2 pairs. 9-5 deuce.
That's true.
Neither one of them have 9-5. Neither one of them have 9 deuce. Neither one of them have 5 deuce. My main concern here is sets, and that's it. And probably not deuces unless it's the button. So 9s are possible for each of these players. 5s are possible for each of these players, I think. And flush draws, and then pairs 10s plus. So against that range, I really like a lead here, and hope they get froggy with a flush draw, or if a guy's here with pocket 10s or jacks, and I lead out and he raises, we could be in a really good spot. But when you take that approach, I think you're also just kind of accepting the fact that if you're against the set, then you're just going to pay him off.
Right.
Right? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I always hate those spots where someone check raises you. Early in the tournament, you've got aces. Especially if there's no. Did you say it's rainbow flop?
No, it's two-tone. We got 2 clubs out there and a spade. We do not have a club.
Okay. Yeah, those spots where someone raises you where there's not 2 pair and there's not a flush draw. I mean, if this is what's going to happen here, I'm just in my mind, I'm already like, fuck, we run into a set. You're probably supposed to fold because they have aces in your range. So they're going to be just flatting a lot of times, or they could be raising with jacks, queens. Let's see where we're at kind of shit. But I don't know. I never really know, Steve. as I use those expression again and again and again. So what do you decide to do?
I lead out. I went slightly bigger than half pot. I made it into 17. I made it 982. And then the original opener, UTG2, he takes his time again and uses his time bank, and then he makes it 2400. And the button, he also uses his time bank, and then he calls the 2400. So we've got 7500 in the pot right now. Original opener has less than that behind, and so does the button caller.
Yeah. So what are we ranging him on? What do we range the second guy on? Is he doing that with sets, or is he only doing that with draws and like pocket tens or something? Like he's just, for him calling with pocket tens there would be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm worried about what he has. I would just fold here. I mean, if I'm playing well, I think this is a fold.
See, this is why I brought up this hand. I'm like, I don't play 109s often, and I feel like in a $22 or $33 tournament, this is just a shove and you're done. But the 109, I wasn't too sure. And then as I'm time banking on this spot as well in game, and I keep remembering what Carlos was saying. It was like, there's really not much difference between the 109s and the 33s and the 22s on Ignition. The players are they just have more of a bankroll, but they're not any better.
Okay.
And maybe that's generally true. I mean, probably when you get down to the final table, doesn't hold as true, but that's what was ringing in my mind here. And my thought was the original UTG2 probably has a fair amount of overpairs. Just the way he was time banking and the way he was just taking a while, it just felt to me like this guy has like Jacks plus, or he's got something like, Ace King of clubs or something like that. The button, I think he could have something like, I mean, we don't have much on him. We only have 11 hands because it's pretty early in the tournament. But he's a 66-18 in 11 hands. So he's played 6 hands out of 11. I don't know. I think he could have a lot of draws. He could even have something like, well, like you said, if he has pocket tens there and he's calling, that's just terrible. So I was going to say ace-9, but I don't know. I end up time banking, and then I end up shoving.
Okay.
And my only real worry was being against a set of 9s or a set of 5s, which is probably unlikely, but certainly a possibility. And they both call. So
okay.
But, we got 30K in the middle, and the original opener, he's got King, and the button has Queen 8 of clubs.
Huh. Okay. Did you win?
No, I didn't. Had a good turn, and then a club river. So GG on that one. But
okay. Well, yeah, he was trapping on the king. I think. Yeah, I don't know, Steve. That's kind of that's fine. I just quickly last night, I don't know if this is exactly similar, but I 3-bet with jacks. Got a good flop, 9 high, 2 diamonds. I c-bet. It was straddle, so the 3-bet ends up being pretty big. I think the 3-bet was like to 140 or something like that. And 2 people called, so my flop bet was like 200. Then one guy check raised to like 700, and the other guy went in for like 1,000. And I think it was a pretty. Again, there's no 2 pair in their ranges there, but there are flush draws. But of course, I'm not doing spectacularly against a flush draw. Anyways, I folded. They both had flush draws, and I would have won a massive pot.
Yeah, that's a tough spot with jacks, though.
Yeah. That's why I guess with your I definitely fold queens in your spot. I was actually talking to someone about the jack spot. I'm like, does it really matter if I have jacks to aces? And he's like, yes, for sure. Because some people will play the queens, especially these amateurs, will call just pre-flop just to make sure there's not an ace. Then they're going with it, rather than 4 or 5 betting it, So in your spot, maybe for sure I fold jacks and queens just in case, they have kings. And maybe just go with the aces. But when they both call, like usually one of them's got a set for sure. I don't know. Well, not for sure, obviously. But I don't know. I actually, Steve, I was just writing down the details because this is kind of reminding me a little bit of something with playing big pots with aces. Is if you want me to do it, I had aces the other night in an interesting spot. Real quick. You're getting excited here, Steve. I can tell.
I am.
So we are, we're 9-handed here, and UTG 1 opens to 30. This is like one of the top pros in the game. Then the cutoff makes it 90, and the cutoff is a guy who he's a casual player. Probably break even maybe, and very nitty. Usually doesn't usually play a lot of hands. I mean, he's capable of squeezing light every now and then, and he understands the game. Mm-hmm. But again, he's usually going to put him on a pretty strong range when he 3-bets this other guy who's a pro, who everybody knows he's really, 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 really good. Especially when the guy's opening early position. I think it was UTG 1.
Okay.
So he makes it 90, and I have 2 black aces on the button.
Ace. Okay.
What is your raise size here? Chips to start this hand. I want to say.
Yeah. What are the?
I want to say about 3,500, and I'm going to say. I should know exactly the stacks here. Let me think. The guy on my right who 3-bet has about 2,500, I think. Maybe a little more. Maybe like 26, 27. Original Razor's probably got 3,000 too. Okay. Yeah, a lot of times I do tourney raise. I mean, I think because his range is so strong to my right. I'll tell you, this is my thinking in game. I probably could even go 350 or something like that. And he might call with any pair just to set mine since we're deep enough, take a shot at it. But I don't think my bet sizing is terrible. I make it 290.
I was going to say 250 to 300, so that was my sizing. Probably erring a little bit on the smaller side because we got the button and we have aces. But this might be going back to what we were talking about before. I'm too polarized in my sizing, making it smaller when I've got the goods. But going with that, then maybe 290 is pretty good. We're a little bit more than 3x is open, and if he's nutted like you're hoping, you might be able to get. Well, is he ever 4-betting there with jacks or queens?
I think probably just kings. If he 4-bets, he's got kings, and we're doing a jig.
Okay. But the other ones he's probably calling. Okay. Yeah, something like that. 250, 300.
Now, to add to the intrigue, the big blind calls.
Oh.
The big blind has 5,000 in front of him. The big blind is, maybe I've discussed hands with him. He just likes to watch the wheel spin. He loves to play hands. I don't know, one of those, if one of my episodes where I was complaining horribly about losing a massive pot to him, there's one pot where he limped. Someone made it 30. Someone made it 100, and then I made it 450 with pocket kings. And he was the original limper, and he called with 3-5 suited.
Oh, nice.
And flopped a flush, and I had the king of hearts with 3 hearts on there, and he won a 5K pot of me. So if he puts $1 in pre-flop, he wants to see a flop here. And I guess,
Okay.
yeah, he makes what I obviously I think, we don't know with his hand in is a pretty questionable call because the guy who 3-bet could easily have a big pair and be repopping it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy once somebody made it $10. No, he raised from the button to $25, and a pro who knows how he plays shoved for over 2,000 effective, and he called with like 9-8 suited, and the other guy obviously had aces. You know, he was exploitive
Wow.
play because he just So even if both of us shoved here, there's actually a chance he calls 3,500 pre, depending on his mood, with like King Jack suited or something.
Wow.
Like I've
Okay.
seen him done that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I saw an all in for almost 3,000 with ace deuce off.
Oh God. Wow.
So yeah, he's just
He's awesome to have at the table.
pretty much.
Yeah.
The funny thing is,
Okay.
last night I lost a big pot and he was mocking me. And it's really taboo, obviously, to give this guy any shit. But I said, "You really want to talk about hands?" You know what I mean? Anyways, he calls the original raiser. He took some time before calling and kind of shrugged. I thought he was thinking
He
of
shrugged? What do you mean by that?
shrug.
Did you physically see him shrug?
Yeah, he was like, okay. Yeah, I think he actually was like, okay, I'm into.
Okay.
So maybe afterwards, it was thinking of folding more than raising, but he took a while before calling. Yeah, I mean, like 15 seconds is a while in that spot because it's supposed to be
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really read it too much. So the first guy's range, I don't have a fucking clue. Probably a pair where he wants to set mine, suited ace, then or some sort of connecting cards.
Yeah, suited broadways.
He's definitely like 10-9 suited, even smaller suited cards he likes.
Okay.
The second guy, the original raiser, I'm putting him on, I don't know, 9s plus or something. I don't know.
Yeah, knights plus, ace queen off plus, something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. I thought he had a pretty good hand. Occasionally he's got a small pair, I guess, but I really didn't think that was a big part of his range.
Okay.
The flop is so
the call it cut under the gun calls, cutoff calls, right?
Right. We got about 900 in the pot.
Yeah.
The flop is 8-6 deuce rainbow.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so everyone checks to you. Okay. Let's see. I think we've got over $1,000 in the pot here, right? 290 times 4. That'd be 1160.
No, we got 875 in the pot.
I must be adding this up wrong. You got you're on the button. You made it 290. Big blind called 290. UTG1 called 290.
No, I'm sorry. UTG1 folds. Sorry.
Oh, he folds. Okay.
So, I'm sorry. I forgot to add that $30 to the pot. So it's 905 in the pot.
905. Okay. 905. Okay, that makes a world of a difference. Okay, so the original UTG1 that made it 30 to open it, he folded.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the cutoff, the original 3-better, he takes his time, kind of shrugs, and then calls.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 905 in the pot, 8-6 deuce, two checks to us, 30, $3,000 behind about. I don't know. I'm thinking kind of smaller here. This might be like one of those spots where if either one of them raises here, then I don't know, 390, 400, 350, that range.
Yeah, I think, the funny thing is, I was talking to the top pro at the table later, and he liked betting small here.
Yeah.
Like I said, and it's even with aces, I'm not super excited to get 700 big blinds in here.
No.
The original, the guy who called from the button does have. He's even got 8-6 in his range here. Strangely enough, but it's obviously a pretty good flop for us. He would overcall for a set. Basically, I told him, I'm like, well, I'm not really ready to get it all in here, which is kind of I don't know, that was my mentality here. But he's like, well, you don't. I'm like, what happens if you're check raise here? He's like, you hate life, but the first player, the guy who 3-bet never has you beat here, or rarely does. And
Probably
I don't know.
only if he has eights.
He liked betting small. He's like, you got aces. There's so many over pairs in their range where you got to get some value here. You got to get him to put some more chips in. And he liked the small bet for like what you said, where you bet big and they might find a fold with some single pair hands. And I don't know, but I check.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I'm just the other main reason is the guy who's in the big blind. He's pretty predictable. If I check here, he's often just blasting away 2 streets. So, it wasn't just simply, oh, geez, somebody hit a set. It was more, let's let him take the lead with the hand here. He's going to put a lot of chips in.
Okay, and he's going to do it with 8-7.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to do a lot of shit. He's going to do it with ace jack. You know
okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
I think. Well, maybe not that. He probably. It depends how he actually can be very good at poker. Strangely enough, but a lot of times he just doesn't give a fuck. This was one of those days where I think he'll run it up to 8K and down to 1K in like an orbit. You know what I mean? He's playing for stacks so frequently. But maybe he only proceeds here with some equity for sure, where he thinks there's a chance he has the best hand or, can prove to the best hand. Okay. The turn is the 4 of diamonds. So now it's 8-6-4 deuce, and the big blind leads for $600.
2/3 pot. Okay. Well, he's pretty much doing what you thought. What's the cutoff do?
He almost folds. Like this time it's pretty clear to me. I thought that he was that he was really thinking of folding. But he calls.
How long did he take to call?
30 seconds.
Okay, so he took a while. And when he did it, did you see the same kind of like shrugging effect that you saw pre-flop?
Yeah, come to think of it, he does he'll flop a set and do the shrug too. So that's kind of it. He balances his shrugging maybe a little bit, but
okay.
When he calls, I don't know. I don't think there's really anything to do. Maybe you're worried about. I'm not worried about the flush draw because there's 2 diamonds out there, but I think a raise here is poor because there's not that many draws in their range, and just let the guy blast off in the river again. I don't know. That was my feeling, and I felt pretty strongly I had the best hand. But again, if I raise, I'm not. If I raise here and make it 1,700, at that point I got to call, and because the original guy would reshove with a draw here. He doesn't have to have a set if he shoves. He will definitely put 4,000 in with a draw even on the turn. Yeah. So I just call.
Well, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of the cutoffs range here. The big blind, the guy that can go from 8K to 1K in an orbit. I don't think we could ever fold anything here, no matter what the river.
No. To him. We've so far it's gone according to plan. He's betting.
I think the cutoff is. God, it just feels like he has 9s or 10s here. You know what I mean? Like, what is he 3-betting there? A good player pre-flop with, and then what is he kind of taking his time and kind of shrugging and calling with pre-flop? If it's not 9s, 10s, jacks, maybe even queens.
He might have been.
We might be in a pretty favorable spot here to just bump it up, and then, like you said, maybe you can get the big blind to go with ace 8 or.
But if 8-9 or why do we want if we bump him up though? I think he's good. He's going to fold ace 8, ace 9. Why wouldn't we just want to call and let him? If we're putting the especially if we're putting the the cutoff on an overpair, he's only got 2 outs, so we don't really mind too much. Just call. I don't know.
Is he stacking off there with tens or jacks?
You mean if I shove?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. Never mind. I like the call. Okay.
I think it's I'm not sure we can get called by worse. Well, the original Razor, if he had a pair and a flush draw, yeah, he's calling for sure.
Okay.
He might. Yeah, I guess shoving's not terrible. I mean, if we're ranging him but the original guy could have a set. I could be shoving his. I think just calling and letting him blast the river with so many hands, especially now that if both of us call, there's so much money in there. His thought is, geez, I really want this pot. I'm taking this down. Not, so one of these guys is nutty. So the cutoff, I'm totally taking. I had him narrowly ranged to an overpair. I mean, we 8-6, 8-6 4 deuce. I'm totally dismissing the fact that he possibly has 2 pair a set here. A set he probably bets on the. He might even bet on the flop, although he'd probably plan on check raising. And he doesn't have a set in the turn because he's raising, or he would not be almost folding, which I really thought he was almost folded the turn.
Yeah.
So I call. And
or like an ace king of diamonds or ace queen of diamonds.
I think that one he calls pretty quick or quicker and doesn't. He seems happier with the call. Like, oh wow, I can really win a big one here.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably got 9s plus. And probably not kings or aces.
Right.
So 9s to queens. Yeah.
Kings he definitely 5 bets pre, I think. The turn is a 3 of clubs or something.
Okay.
So we now are 4 to a straight there.
Yeah, anyone with a 5.
8-6 4-3 deuce.
Yeah.
So either of them have a 5. There should be no 5s at all in the. It wasn't the 5 would not have given you an open ender on the turn. It would give you a gut shot.
A gut shot.
So yeah, he would not have a 5 in his range. The cutoff, the big blind could have a 5. He could have 6-5 and had a middle pair and just hit a straight. Yeah. But again, I'm never folding to his bet on the river here if he bets.
Yeah.
And the cutoff. So I mean, in my mind, I have the best hand here, 90% plus.
Yeah.
Again, the original guy, he could have a set, definitely, and the second guy, I have the best hand.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a decent read, or how would you now be looking at it, depending on the betting action? Because the big blind leads out for $1,750.
That pretty much puts the cutoff all in, right?
Just about, yeah. So okay. The pot now. Before he did this, the pot was about 2,700.
Yes.
So now he puts the 1,700 in. So now it's 40 over 4,400, almost 4,500. And the cutoff is just anguished. My God, what could you have here? Da 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 da. He takes about a minute and a half, and okay. when he's taking that long, obviously he doesn't have a straight. He could be acting.
Shouldn't have any 5s. The only thing I'm thinking like ace 5 suited that he got to check through on the flop, hit his diamond draw on the turn, and painfully called. I think you're right. I think that would be a faster call.
There isn't a 5 in his range. I mean, I can tell he's not acting. Yeah. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. It's okay. Pretty simple. He doesn't have. So when he's thinking of folding, what are you putting him on here? Is it
9s, 10s, jacks, or queens?
I thought jacks or queens every time. I thought 9s or 10. When I call on the turn, I mean he probably we didn't even stop to think, well, how would they range me? they would not be expecting me to check back aces there. So yeah, I don't know how they range me, but he probably if he had queens there, he's probably more worried about he's not really that worried about me, I don't think, but I don't know. It's a good board for queens, basically.
Yeah.
So the cutoff does call, and I quickly throw my chips in there. And the original raise, and the big blind had pocket sevens, and
okay,
just pocket sevens, one pair, and the cutoff, and this had people talking for days, had 3 deuce off for 2 pair.
What the fuck? Huh.
Like he's one of these. He was sitting there. He was sitting there with his headphones on. This is something he does do, but he gets bored or whatever, and he just likes making a move. But he'll be making some nitty folds and getting pushed around, and then all of a sudden he'll just decide he wants to get creative. So 3 deuce off for 2 pair, and he wins about a $7,900 pot.
Wow. Okay. I did not see that coming. I expected you to say he had 10s and you rake a massive pot, but I was a little wrong. All right. Huh. Some spots like this, I've seen this, just like you're describing. It's like this player just plays great for 8 hours, and then all of a sudden he just loses his shit with 6-4 offsuit, and you're like, wow, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. There is, the one little thing I could have taken from this, maybe I get away from it, because this guy was also, there was a board which was, again, everyone was talking about this, like the final board was king 6-4-5 with like 3 spades out there.
Okay.
Somebody went all in, and he tanked forever and finally called with pocket sixes on a king 6-5-4 board.
What was he tanking over?
He was worried. He was legitimately worried about quads or king 4 or something like that. So I don't know. So here maybe he's worried about a set. I don't know. But the set he raises on the turn. So that's why I didn't think a set was possible. The call on the turn, do I need to say, is just that's about as bad as it gets.
Yes.
He's calling with 4th pair and a gutter.
Yes.
So not only do I lose a big pot, but this is like I got a bunch of the people at the table saying, like, the guy blind him have been getting into recently. I don't know if he's got some, but it's funny. Last night, like I said, he was giving me hell, and I'm like, do you want to play? But he's like, dude, I can't believe he trapped you there. I'm like, no, he was really thinking of folding. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He trapped you. So he just gave away $2,800 or whatever the fuck it was, and he wanted to like talk about how I misplayed the hand. You know what I mean? So that was just that's how he wanted to lead the conversation. And then the other guy's like, yeah, I can't
bite your tongue in spots like that. You're like, oh my god.
So yeah, but when he was taking, I was begging for a call.
Oh, of course.
Because I was absolutely convinced I had him, that I could range him so narrowly down to. So I guess but this will be an example of too, Steve. I'm just, because this is just a grievous blow to my, my whole month almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just, if this one stings as much as it does, because normally, anyone's going to be annoyed by this one, obviously, I think. But I'm again, aces, I don't know. Like I said, aces normally say, well, aces is just one pair. You don't want to get it all in one pair. You got it in good with aces with one pair. And I think this is one of those spots where you do have to get 600 big blinds in with aces, even within a multi-way pot. I think I played it properly.
Yeah,
other than there's no reason. I've talked to like 3 people about it, and they all said, why aren't you betting the flop? Everybody had the same there. Because almost every time, and this is the one time it wasn't, one of them has an overpair, and it's going to call every time.
Yeah.
And, so it was just a bizarre fucking hand, man. This was, I don't know. It's a weird hand, I guess.
I think on the flop with 900 in the pot, throwing a third to 40%, something like that.
Right.
And trying to get value from what he should have in the cutoff should be nines through queens, but what he actually has, I think for the vast majority of the time he's not playing like this, and he's going to have those overpairs that you just have crush, and you'll probably get a street of value out of him there.
There is times where this happens recently where you own yourself with value because you just sometimes they're so nitty they're just afraid to bet the river kind of thing. I think I had one that night. Last night I can't remember. I don't know if this is similar where basically it was like a flush draw on the. I flopped like 2 overs in a gutter, and there was a flush draw, and I was out of position and I bet, and this guy called. No. So I was in position. He checked. I bet. He called. The turn was it was air, but I decided to bet again. He called, and the flush got there on the river, but I also hit my gutter ball straight. And I put him on when he checks to me on the river. I really thought, I played this guy that he would always bet his flush. Happy that he got there.
Yeah.
And long story, I like overbet the pot with my straight, thinking he had a pair. And he called with a baby flush. Like he kind of sigh called. He took a few seconds too. He's like, I think you got it, but what am I supposed to do here? So I still think I think I had to bet in that situation, but I didn't need to bet so big. But again, I thought I thought for sure when he even tanked for 5 seconds on the river, I'm like, oh, I might get paid here.
Yeah. The guy's got 2 pair. He's going to pay me off. Yeah, I find myself value owning myself probably 2 or 3 times a session, where I'm betting that top pair because like he just never would have checked this many times with top pair here. So I'm going to try to just get a call from second or third pair here, and then he calls with top pair decent kicker. I'm like, all right, I guess I don't. Well,
you're supposed to. That's supposed to happen with some frequency if you're playing well. You got to be able to.
I think so. But there's got to be a way to identify what types of players are, it's more profitable to do that against. But it is frustrating.
Okay, Stevie.
All righty. Well, thanks for coming on, Mike. If you guys want to get a second running at the live Poker Tells video series by Zach Elwood, here's what you do. Go to headsuppoker.poker. Click on the submit a hand. That's the quickest way to get an email to me. Click on submit a hand and submit a hand to the podcast like Mason did last week. We'll pick the winner and you'll get access to a lifetime membership of Live Poker Tales. Get you ready for the WSOP. When you go to headsuppoker.poker, click on the subscribe us tab. We've got all Mike's links in there. His Twitter, his Twitch. I've got some videos. And if you click on the Support Us tab, we've got a bunch of Amazon links. So if you bookmark those, and anytime you buy something on Amazon, a small percentage of what you purchase will get kicked back to the podcast. It's not going to cost you anything extra. And we've got some books on there, too, of poker players that have been on here. I don't... any profit that I make from the podcast, I've never mentioned this before on the show, but any profit that I get from here, I figure it out at the end of the year what it is, and then I end up giving it away in the form of a scholarship to a student. So after the cost of the podcast, each one of these episodes costs anywhere from $50 to $70 to produce, and then whatever we make in addition to that from you guys by signing up with 6-4 Spades, joining TPE, clicking on the Amazon links, just straight up donations. That all gets tallied up at the end of the year. And it looks like this year, last year I did $1,500 for a scholarship. And it looks like we're on course this year to do $2,000. So I'm excited about that. That'll be in May. But thank you guys for tuning in. And here is your weekly motivational speech.
I define motivation as the desire to achieve that which you believe to be worthwhile. And many people go through life never getting in touch with their greatness because of the lack of motivation to push themselves. or because they have not found something that they believe to be worthwhile, to challenge them. I heard a poem once that said, many a flower has bloomed unceasingly and wasted sweetness upon the cold desert air. It's translated, that means simply that many a talented persons have gone unnoticed, and the world never had a chance to be exposed to their talent because that person did not take the time to begin to express or to demonstrate or to motivate themselves in the direction to bring that which they came into the universe to bring. How can you measure your motivation? How can you evaluate where you are on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's do this for ourselves mentally. How do you rate yourself from 1 to 10? Your mental attitude about yourself, how you feel about you, how you feel about life. How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your physical appearance, in terms of your health? Do you take care of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to get overweight and out of shape? Are you conscious of your health? Are you watching the food that you take into your body? Do you make a deliberate effort to exercise? You know, it was George Burns, he said, we cannot help getting older, but we don't have to get old. And many of us get old before our time because we don't take time to take care of ourselves. Your environment is a very good indicator. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it what you want it to be? Do you find it desirable? Are you satisfied? The job or career that you're involved in. Someone said that 85% of the American public are unhappy with their jobs. Are you spending 8 hours a day just doing time? Doing something that you don't find challenging, that does not make you stretch mentally, that does not stimulate you, that does not inspire you. Something that you don't find a sense of fulfillment in it. If you're doing that day in and day out, it has to affect how you feel about yourself, your level of motivation. Your relationships. What kind of impact is it having on your life? Is it nourishing or is it a toxic relationship? Does it drain you or does it build you up? Ask yourself that. How motivated are you to do something about it? Your contribution, your actions. What are you giving? Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. And in fact, under their name, we could put under there, not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came this way? Someone once said that life is our gift to us that God has given us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. What kind of gift are you formulating? Is this a gift that you like to take back and do something else before you turn it in? Think about that.